Let me ask you something. What if you could solve one of your country's biggest economic problems, connect millions of people, and create thousands of new businesses, all for, get this, 1/100th of the usual cost? I know it sounds impossible, right? But that is the exact promise of a project in the Philippines called Bayan Wi-Fi.
To really get why this project is such a huge deal, you have to understand the sheer scale of the problem. And it all starts with this number, 50 million. That's how many Filipinos are currently on the wrong side of the digital divide. We're talking about being effectively locked out of the modern economy, education, you name it.
And being locked out like that, well, it comes with a staggering price tag. Every single year, the Philippines loses an estimated 600 billion pesos in economic potential, all because these communities are offline. This isn't just some social issue. It's a massive drag on the entire economy.
So a number like 600 billion pesos, where does that even come from? This isn't about people missing out on the latest viral videos. No. We are talking about real, measurable damage to the absolute core of the economy: education, small businesses, and even agriculture. When you break it down, it's just mind-boggling. A colossal 270 billion pesos is lost in education alone because 4.5 million students can't get access to digital learning. Then another 240 billion vanishes because millions of small businesses, think of all the local sari-sari stores, can't use digital payments or tap into online supply chains. And on top of that, farmers lose out on 75 billion by being cut off from crucial market data and modern farming tools.
Okay, so this brings up a really critical question. If the problem is so massive and so expensive, why haven't the big telecom companies just fixed it already? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Their entire model is broken, especially for the communities that need this connection the most.
See, on one side, you've got the traditional telcos. Their whole business is built on laying incredibly expensive fiber optic cables and putting up multi-million peso cell towers. It takes forever, and in low-income rural areas, they know they'll never make their money back. So what if you could just bypass all that slow, expensive groundwork? What if you could build a network from the sky down and from the community up?
And that is the core idea behind Bayan Wi-Fi. It's a completely different way of thinking. It uses satellite internet as its main backbone and then creates these local, community-owned mesh networks to share that connection with everyone. The goal is simple: make affordable, prepaid Wi-Fi available for everyone, no matter how remote their village is.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually, work? How do you get internet from a satellite way up in space down to a kid's smartphone on a village sidewalk? Well, the whole process is actually surprisingly simple.
Here's probably the best way to think about it. Imagine a Starlink satellite is like a giant cargo plane. It flies over a village and drops a huge shipping container packed with high-speed internet. Then, the local Bayan Wi-Fi mesh network acts like a fleet of delivery motorbikes. They zip around, taking little packages of that internet and delivering it to every single house, school, and store.
It all boils down to 3 easy steps. First, the uplink. A single Starlink dish gets set up, and it just pulls down a super fast connection from space. Second, distribute. A bunch of small interconnected routers, that's the mesh network, spread that signal all across the area. And third, access. Anyone can log on with a simple prepaid code, often for just a few pesos a day.
Now, this is where the model goes from just being clever to being an absolute game changer. We know the old way is too expensive, but you are not going to believe how much cheaper this new approach really is.
The difference is, it's almost hard to comprehend. To connect the entire Philippines the old way, with fiber and towers, would cost an estimated 2 trillion pesos. The Bayan Wi-Fi model, it can do the same thing for just 20 billion. That's not a small difference. That is 100 times more cost-effective. It's just wild.
And the advantages go way beyond just the final price tag. Think about the speed of deployment. A community can get online with Bayan Wi-Fi in a day or two versus waiting maybe a whole year for a telco. Users can pay a small, flexible daily rate instead of being trapped in an expensive monthly contract. And, this is crucial, these systems are all solar-ready, so they work even in places where the electric grid is unreliable.
So this system is faster, it's radically cheaper, but maybe the most powerful innovation here isn't the technology at all. It's the business model that makes it all happen.
And that raises a big question, right? If the big telcos aren't the ones building this network, then who is? Who is actually installing the dishes, managing all the routers, and selling the prepaid load to their neighbors?
The answer is something called the civic franchise model. See, instead of some top-down corporate rollout, Bayon Wi-Fi empowers local entrepreneurs. The owner of the neighborhood Sari Sari store, a local community leader, they become the franchisee. They literally own and operate the Wi-Fi hotspot for their community, building a business while providing a service everyone needs.
And the economics for that local entrepreneur are just astounding. With an upfront investment of around 50 to 70,000 pesos, they can generate a net profit of anywhere from 70,000 to over 250,000 pesos every single month. And the best part? Look at that payback period, just 1 to 2 months. It's an incredible, absolutely life-changing business opportunity.
Okay, so we've got smarter technology, and we've got a revolutionary grassroots business model. When you put those two things together, what's the actual real-world impact? What really happens when you connect an entire nation, one community at a time?
Well, the vision is to directly connect 15 to 20 million of those Filipinos that we talked about right at the beginning. In doing that, it would create over 10,000 new local tech businesses and jobs through that franchise model. It would finally give 4.5 million students access to the digital learning they've been missing. And it would let the government deliver essential services like telemedicine or disaster alerts directly to every single community.
And this isn't just a pipe dream. There's an ambitious plan to make it happen. Starting with 500 sites in 2025, the vision is to scale up exponentially, hitting 5,000 sites the next year, then 20,000, with the goal of reaching 100,000 sites by 2030. That would create a complete, resilient, and totally community-powered national digital grid.
This all leads to one final, fascinating question. The Philippines is using this model to solve its own unique challenges with geography and economics. But as you watch this all take shape, you really have to wonder, could this decentralized, franchise-based approach, a network truly built by and for the people, be the future of the internet for underserved communities all over the world?